All right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am Brian, your host. And I got above us Hank, the Bass Geek. What is up, brother? Welcome back. Welcome back to another great week.
Yeah, man, it's been a good week. We're doing the live stream that does go into a podcast called the Bass Geek Podcast. I mean, hey, super hard to remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put a lot of thought into that. It took me several months to come up with that name. And by the way, the live is called Bass Geek Live. So it's come on. But no, man, we dropped a video yesterday for you listeners out there. It is about boat trailer steps, safety. I always say it all the time. I know of at least two guys who were loading and unloading their boat, slip, fell,
Oh, wow.
and they ended up drowning at the boat ramp.
That is crazy, dude.
And I know of another guy who fell across the tongue. And think about it, man. He's so lucky. Fell off his boat, slipped, fell across the tongue, broke his ribs.
Wow.
So, don't take those steps. Some people will look at them and say, oh, man, $300, them steps, that's expensive, crazy. But no, if your life ain't worth $300, then, hey,
Yeah.
I guess, we just put you in a sweatshop and get what we can out of you.
Yeah, I've seen him steps on with the handle and everything. I mean, it's pretty daggone nice what they have.
Yeah, that's what I got. Boat effects, great company, great looking boat. We did some upgrades, so to those steps and a couple of other things, and don't want to spoil it, but you guys go check it out.
All right, check that out. Check out the latest episode from Bass Geek. Guys, here at the basscast.com, I want to say a special thank you to everyone to come out and fish with the Basscast this weekend. We had 26 teams fish with the Basscast. Congratulations to everyone that cashed a check. I think it took about 15 pounds to win. And then we had the Cat Phantom on Sunday. Got to go out there. You guys saw some of the photos, hopefully on social media that I posted. Yep. It was pouring down, raining. And then, it's the way it is here in Virginia. I mean, it was raining. It rained probably for an hour. Sun popped out. Weigh-in was beautiful. The rest of the afternoon was beautiful until about the night, and it kicked back up again. But we need the rain around here, everybody. It's a, I don't, geeking say it's a going thing around here in the last probably decade. I say it's like, well, it'll rain all the way up till January, February, March, April, May, June. Then July, August, September, whatever. It's like a drop here, a drop there.
It didn't rain down here for us.
Oh,
this past weekend. Yeah, it was sunny, bluebird, beautiful skies. I was stuck at work going, why am I here?
But we're going to get it Friday, everybody.
Yeah, now we're supposed to get that.
Everybody's supposed to get it. I'm here 1 to 3 inches, so that will help fill back up Smith Mountain Lake because it's a couple feet low right now. So we definitely could use it. I know you probably can use it down your way, Geek.
Well, they probably just they're happy. They're dropping for winter pull right now. And up here, depending on what lake you're on, how close you are to the headwaters, South Holston, they'll drop about 25 feet. Cherokee, they'll drop about 30, and then Douglas, heck, man, they'll drop it about 35, 40 feet by the time it's done. Yeah, it looks like a moonscape when you're out there in the wintertime.
Holy cow.
Good news about it is if there's stumps, you can mark them.
There you go. So this weekend, guys, I am going up to Augusta County for the Augusta County Bass dinner. I get a lovely invite for them. Guys, if you live up in that area in Central Virginia, head on up and check out Augusta County Bass. They've got a website. They got a Facebook page. And if you're looking for, like I said, if you're looking for a club to fish, reach out to them. And they'd love to have you. This is their awards ceremony, they call it. They have it each and every year and have an awesome meal to go along with it. And as you guys all know, I love to eat. I ain't gonna lie. I'll miss a tournament to eat. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't miss many meals myself.
Yeah. But we do have someone covering the cat event Saturday down on Bugs Island. So we want to thank all of our reporters, grounds people, whatever you guys want to call them. the boots on the ground who are covering the events for the Basscast.com. So thank you to all of them and for helping us out here. Don't forget, the 19th is the final regular season Basscast event. If you like to fish with us, that is the final one. And if you have fished with us, you got to fish 3 to qualify, a whopping 3, Geek. You got to fish only 3 tournaments to fish with the Basscast for your chance to win $1,000. At least it's going to be close to $1,000 in the bank account.
Nice.
Because we don't keep any of it. It all goes back to you. And for those who qualify for the championship, you get a free Mexican dinner.
There you go.
So Aaron's dad has.
Now let me ask you a question about that.
Yes.
Do you get the Mexican dinner the day after the tournament or the day before? Because that's going to eliminate some people.
You get it that afternoon. So, holy crap. You get it that afternoon. So,
literally,
yes.
Holy crap.
As soon as weigh-in is over, it's holy crap. So I want to thank Aaron's dad for hooking all of us up. We really appreciate that. We love being up there at Crazy Horse Marina on Smith Mountain Lake. If you never came out and ate the Mexican restaurant, it was very good. So thank you to them, and we appreciate them. But guys, tonight, you guys all know we do things a little different here at Basscast Radio. We don't always interview anglers. Now, he is an angler. He is an angler, by the way, but he's also a TV star to be. For 6+ years now, Bassquatch Hunter, guys, is going to be with us tonight. Mr. Mike McKinstry is coming on. He's going to talk about that. We're going to learn about him. We're going to learn about the show. And it's going to be a learning episode for me and Geek as well. I'll be honest. Yeah. I started following him on Facebook a few weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer than that because I'm not a big Facebook guru, but he's been blowing up my inbox, and I had to go check out this gentleman and what he is all about. So Mike is going to be on here in just a minute. But before we get him on, guys, don't forget wildlandcoffee.co. Do you ever wish your morning coffee on the lake or river was easier and better tasting, guys? How frustrating it is when you use a French press and you have to clean it up, or God forbid you drink instant coffee, which I don't drink instant coffee. Sorry, I'll go to McDonald's and try to find one. That's why Wildland Coffee exists, to solve those problems. Wildland Coffee is a proud supporter of the podcast, and I'm stoked to support them. Wildland Coffee puts delicious, freshly ground coffee into tea bags. You might be thinking, that can't be good, but yes, it is. Hear me out, though. It tastes just like a French press, but it has the ease of tea. All you need is hot water. You have an amazing cup of coffee with no mess or cleanup in 8 minutes, guys. Use Basscast10 to get 10% off your first order at wildlandcoffee.co. And guys, we really, really appreciate them for sponsoring Basscast Radio.
Yes, sir.
Guys, if I'm going to throw us out there, there could be some changes next year. We're doing a lot of talking. We're doing a lot of handshaking. We're hustling here at the Basscast.com. We're just the goal is to make it bigger and better for you guys and get the message out. And, I do this, me and Geek talked about this earlier. We do the show to meet new people, to introduce you guys to new people, to tell their story, for you guys to learn something. But it also kind of plays off. It helps Geek. His podcast when he does the lives.
Helps out my YouTube channel greatly.
And it helps out the YouTube channel, and it helps out the Basscast.com. So the podcast mirrors that, and it's to help us as well as help you guys become better anglers, and hopefully help you guys learn more about maybe someone you never heard of. I mean, like Mike. I mean, to be honest, I ain't never heard of this dude before. I mean, he set up Detroit. Yeah. Detroit, Michigan, guys. I mean, that's a long
smallmouth. Great smallmouth fishing up there.
But that's a long freaking ways from us. And that's the cool thing about social media. The only cool thing I like about social media, I ain't gonna lie, is that you get to meet new people, interesting people, cool people, learn their story, find out about them. And we're going to find out more about Mike here in just a few minutes, guys. All right, guys. Mike McKinstry, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show.
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, everybody out there, if you're not following him on social media, do so now, right now. That's how I found Mike. Mike's like, you DM me and asked me to be on a show and you don't even know my name. I was like, no, I just saw you're like blowing up my inbox and you're freaking cool. And you have a lot of great guests. And now I see that there's this fish on board game. I mean, it's like, we got to have you on the show. We don't even care what your name is. I mean, you're like out there. It's like,
oh, when you sent me that message, you're like, what's your name? And I was like, are you joking? Like, why are you messaging me?
Yeah. You just saw the Bassquatch Hunter. That's it.
You know what? People call me Bassquatch more than they call me Mike anymore. So I'll be at a store and I'll hear someone yell, "Hey, Bassquatch!" I was actually at a Red Wing game, up here in Detroit, a hockey game, and someone walking around was like, "Hey, Bassquatch!" And my buddy's like, "Hey, someone's calling you." And I'm like, "What?" And I just don't like register it as my name. I turn around, it was like a guy who recognized me, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on, man? My name is Mike." Just like,
Yeah.
like
That's funny.
I get the same thing because I do a YouTube channel called Bass Geek.
Okay.
So I'm literally driving down the road the other day, and I'm driving past the high school, and there's a couple of county sheriffs directing traffic, and I hear Bass Geek, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?"
That's me.
Driving down.
What
So
the
it's pretty
heck?
funny.
So, Mike, welcome to the world of the basscast.com. We want to know your story, man. We want to learn more about you. If you guys didn't see or you're not following him already, which you need to go follow him, big Discovery TV deal. We're going to break into that. We're going to talk about the game. But before we do all that, who's Mike and how'd you get started in all this mess?
So I'll give you the elevator pitch version, like
Go
the
ahead.
short version, because the long
Hey,
version
that's
will be here
awesome.
all day. So my name is Mike McKinstry. I'm the host of a show called the Bassquatch Hunter. And we started the show in 2016. I actually was big into bass boats and did a lot of events. And I kept on breaking off my lower units, my prop drives and everything on these tree stumps on this lake over here. And, you know, me being a stupid, stubborn fisherman like we all are, I just kept on throwing money in the boat. Like instead of changing where I was going, I was like, no, I'm going to get in that back area. There's a bass back there. So like every summer I was like, I got to rebuild this motor. Like it's just like my typical thing now. Well, then in 2016 or 2015, actually, sorry. I had about $4,000 in repairs to the motor that year. And I was like, you know what, there's gotta be something different. And I started looking into kayaks, and someone told me like, they make these kayaks now that are like, you can stand up in them. And I'm like, yeah, I have a kayak. And if I sneeze, I'll fall out of it. Like,
Oh,
I'm
dang.
not a big dude. So I'm like, there's no way that there's kayaks that I can stand up in. Like, I'm not even that big of a guy, but the kayak I'm in right now rolls over so quick. And like, I've tried fishing out of it, and I would do a hook set and just go backwards out of it. So, my buddy was like, you got to try these things out. So I did some research. I ended up buying 2 feel-free kayaks, one for me and one for my ex-wife at the time. And within like 3 weeks, we never used the bass boat anymore, because we were like, these kayaks go where the boats don't go, and they go where the boats can go. I got my personal best bass that year because I was fishing in spots where they didn't allow boats, and I've never been back there. And I don't think anybody else has either. So I was like, man, this kayak thing, like, this is really cool. Like, this is a whole different like universe. And the people in the sport I met were so nice and welcoming. And it was just so contrasting from the bass boat world and from the experience of the oil and the loud motors and, you know, backing a trailer up and untrailering it, retrailing it by myself. Like, it was such a different experience. So I got home and I was like, I remember I was like, I want to start a YouTube channel. And I didn't know what that meant even. Like, I've never really like, I watched YouTube, but I didn't really like know a lot about it. I don't think I ever posted a video outside of me playing guitar or something, like, you know, a long time ago. And I told my ex-wife, I was like, hey, look, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel because people don't believe me that these kayaks are this cool. Like, people laugh at me. Like, the bass boat world thought I was a joke, which is fine, but all my friends were bass boat guys. So I grew up on a lake over here. So like, everyone I knew had boats. So either way, I started making videos showing off the kayak, showing what people could do on these boats. And then I started getting messages from some brands, and the kayak company that made the kayak was like, hey man, like, you know, you should do this and share that. And I was geeking out, you know, like, I've played sports before. Like, I've been kind of high level in sports before, but not a community like this. It was mixed martial arts, where there's not really a community for that. It's a one-man team. It's not really like, you know, and that was also, you know, in like what, 2012, something like that. So social media wasn't even nearly as big as it is now anyway. So I was like, man, this is so cool. Like, I'm talking to the actual manufacturer of this company.
Yeah.
So the funny thing was, I started promoting so hard about it that one of the guys who runs Feel Free Kayaks, which is the kayaks that I use, he reached out to me and he goes, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I either got to do something with you and like have you involved with us, or I got to tell you to like stop. Because he's like, you are doing so much content and you're doing so much stuff. Like you just came out of nowhere at 100 miles an hour. Like we got to do something with you or just kick you out, like something. So of course, luckily they believed in me and they brought me on board. I started doing videos and content, all the stuff for them. And then I was like, wait a minute, like my daytime job was promotional marketing. I loved my job. I loved the industry. And I was like, man, I'm not really at my job anymore. I'm fishing every day. I'm doing business meetings for myself on my kayak. Like I'm taking clients out fishing. It just isn't working. Like, it was funny because everyone in my shop was always like, you come in to work today? I'm like, nope, fishing. And like 2 weeks later I come in, they're like, hey man. I'm like, yeah, it's raining out, like, yeah, I'm here. And that's how like I could come and go as I please. So I just didn't show up to work. I just worked from home or whatever. So, I was on a phone call with one of my clients and I did like promotional merchandising, like logos and apparel. Like I did all the apparel and stuff for Kevin Van Dam back then. I did Kid Rock and M&M and did breweries and hospitals and like everything. That's cool. I was on the phone. It was so much fun. I actually miss it for the connections, but I don't miss it for the everything else.
Yeah.
So I was actually on the phone with one of my clients and it was a guy who owned a chain of pizzerias. And I was on the phone with them and I caught my personal best, which was my personal best for 5 years up until this year. And I was on the phone with him when it happened and I was screaming and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is huge. And he's like, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm back. He goes, hold on. Send me a picture of that fish. Is that a fish? I'm like, yeah. He goes, dude, you got to send me a picture. So we spent like an hour talking about fishing instead. And then I put in my 2 weeks. Like, I just realized like, what am I doing? Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Like I put in my 2 weeks and I was like, I didn't have a plan. I had a YouTube channel that had, I think 37 videos and like 60 subscribers. And I didn't have a plan. I didn't know there was no book on this. There's no roadmap to this. It was
then it wasn't.
No, and there still isn't really. I mean, there's people to look at and try to emulate a little bit, but you can only get so far without doing something different.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. So the shorter ending to this is, so I quit my job, jumped in head first, told my ex-wife, hey, give me a year. If I put all my effort into this, I think I can make this work somehow. I didn't know how I was going to make a living in fishing, but I knew I wanted to. I did like 26 tournaments my first 2 seasons, and I thought that was the way I was gonna make a living. I had 13 top 10 finishes, and I couldn't even afford to go fishing still. I was like, this is insane. Like how do people afford stuff? So I talked to Kevin, actually. I was doing marketing for him at the time. So I talked to Kevin about it and learned it was merchandising. It was branching out. It's what I call spider marketing, where you have 8 legs. If one leg stops working, you can still crawl. And I was like, that's how you do it. And he's like, yeah, you think I could afford all the stuff if I had to pay for it all? If I had to like, you know how much money I lose every year by not winning tournament? I'm like, yeah, I never thought of it that way. So I quit tournaments and I started doing my YouTube channel, and I started focusing on wanting to do something that would impact not only the fishing community, but impact my community in general, and get people encouraged to go outside and try see how cool fishing was. And that's where we're at today. I started my show, got picked up on cable a year and a half later, and now we're our 4th year on cables coming up. And as you mentioned, we got accepted on the Discovery Channel. We're the only kayak fishing show on Discovery, so it's super cool. And
that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, there's only been 2 other shows ever on Discovery, and they were 10 years ago was one. It lasted 3 episodes. The other one was 8 years ago, and it got shut down after like 4 episodes. So we already got a guaranteed 6 episodes, so we're doing good. So should be good.
So are these going to be all brand new episodes?
Yeah, they're all brand new episodes. So I re-air during the same season only. So like I air 26 weeks on the Pursuit channel right now. So we do 12 episodes. So the 12 episodes air 4 times a week, and then they repeat for the last 13 weeks. Discovery Channel is going to be only brand new episodes, and there's no reruns. Like they're just going to air once. Like it's my first year with them. So they're airing once, no reruns, and running straight in a row, and then done for the season for them. But it's all new content every year. I never recycle content. We've already filmed the first 4 episodes. We just finished up last month. And then we got the next 2 coming up over the winter time. And I'm super excited about it. The show is cool.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys been able to watch any of the show or look into any of it yet?
So I went and checked out your YouTube channel, and I watched the latest episode of your YouTube that you did. Your behind the scenes YouTube channel is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like you record on your phone.
No, it's all GoPro. It's
It's
all
all good. Okay.
just a little
Guys,
bit.
you can record a YouTube video on your GoPro. You guys ain't got to spend a whole lot of money. It's 2022, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
my iPhone is 1080p and even 4K, and it's 2 or 3 years old.
Oh yeah, I film a lot on my iPhone, but this right here, I literally, like, when we're filming an episode, this little guy goes with me everywhere I go, and I do behind the scenes vlogs of every episode, all on the GoPro. I don't use any of the cinema camera footage for it because I don't want to take away from like behind the scenes look.
Yeah.
But it comes out. I use the audio from the GoPro, everything. So the one you saw was behind the scenes of Sadie Bass,
Yes.
which as a contestant on The Voice this year, like complete awesome country singer, and also an incredible fisherman too. Like this chick is like, she hunts, she fishes, like she's like the real raw deal, and she's like 5'10", made me look short. So I was like this girl's like complete, like she's so intimidatingly awesome. But
Dang, Mike.
behind this, what's that?
I said, dang, Mike.
Yeah. Oh no, she's incredible. So we went out fishing with her for the day. And then in my show, what we do is we go out and take people fishing who aren't normally fishermen, or are professionals in other industries like WWE wrestlers, NASCAR drivers, UFC fighters, country music stars, comedians, stuff like that. And then we take them fishing, teach them how to do it. Then I go in their world and try to learn how to do what they do and keep up with them. And we don't fake any of it,
Neat.
practice any of it. I usually never meet my guests on purpose until the day we film. So their first experience on a kayak or fishing or both is first time they meet me. Then the first time I try their world is the first time I've ever been in their world or ever experienced it. We don't even go ahead of time to go check it out and meet with them ahead of time. We literally like tell them from the start, like, this has to be super real. We film on public lakes only. So we skunk some episodes. If it happens, it's real. And when we go in their world, if I get hurt, I broke ribs in the wrestling episode. I hit my head on the ice pretty hard in the figure skating episode. I've had some big injuries in a lot of my episodes, and everything's real. That's why we don't fake. The fireman episode, I did the whole fireman agility course, and I did it in like one of their top times. Like the top times are between 6 minutes and 7 minutes. I had 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and I puked my brains out afterwards. Like I almost passed out. It was terribly hard. But they're like, hey, you can take a break if we're filming. Like we can take a break and start over. And I'm like, no, I want to do it for real. I want to know what it's really like to do what you do. So it's super fun because it's always different. Every episode's different. And everything's real, and we want people to see the show and go like, oh, if a musician can be a fisherman for a day, like I could do it too then. Or if this country singer could be a fisherman for a day, then I could do that too.
That's a pretty cool show. That's awesome, dude. So
no,
we have not had an opportunity to check out the show yet. But before we check out the show, I got a couple questions asked about that. You said you started a YouTube channel, had a light following, decided to quit your job, go all in on the YouTube thing. What made it eventually go into it being a show on TV? Not necessarily Discovery TV, but what channel is it? Pursuit channel. That's what you said, correct?
Yep.
So how did you get this Pursuit deal? I mean, how these steps lead to where you are today?
So the YouTube channel started doing really well, and I took a lot of advice from a lot of people. I did a lot of research. I still to this day stay up. I dedicated at least 3 hours a night, like dead serious, to learning on YouTube or studying things or learning new techniques of filming or editing or ideas, or like I constantly watch documentaries, and I love filming documentaries. So like I love watching how camera work works. And so we started evolving the show because I was like, all right, I'm starting to do YouTube videos. The videos were doing okay. Like they weren't like blowing up. I didn't have anything go viral or anything, but I got such good feedback. Like it wasn't even like people saying these videos are great. It was brands telling me like, hey, we're getting a lot of attention from this. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just showing people how fun it is. So I started trying to make it better. I was like, okay, I got to film this better. I was doing a seminar at a trade show in 2016-ish, 2017, I think it might've been. And my now producer was filming for the trade show company, and he walked by and talked to me for an hour and a half or two about fishing. And I told him I have a YouTube channel. He goes, hey, I should come out and film it one time. I love fishing. I love filming outdoors. I have his camera company or his production company, and I got like a bunch of camera guys. Like, let's come out and film a YouTube video for you. And I was like, okay, like who would like this weirdo? Like, all right.
Yeah.
So I take him out fishing, and the first episode we filmed together was actually with Gene Jensen, which we talked about a little bit ago. And within 5 minutes, we ended up blowing a camera out in the water because the producer wasn't used to filming on kayaks, and he put a camera right in the little front pod of the kayak before I could tell him like, hey, water gets in there. So don't do that. And 5 minutes later, the camera's floating in the water.
$3,000, $4,000.
Yeah, it was a, and I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm like, this guy's never going to film with me again. Like, this is terrible. Like, I'm going to owe my camera somehow. Like, this is crazy. So he brought another camera out of his truck, came out, filmed the whole thing with us. And somehow after that, ever since then, he's been my producer of my show. He kind of motivated me because he believed in what I was doing. He didn't ask for money up front. He didn't ask me to hire him. He just said, hey, I believe in what you're doing. I think what you're doing is super cool. And I think we could do something unique. So then he started filming for me. And then once it got to the point where I was like, okay, I want to go on a streaming network. I want to do something. I want to grow. Like, I want a bigger platform so we can spread our message. And, our slogan of the show is take care of the water you touch, the fish you catch, and the people you meet. And we do a lot of pay it forward stuff. Like, I'm really big on trying to make positive impacts in people's life in any way I can. And we started evolving the show. And I was like, it'd be cool. Like, my sponsors work with other athletes in different industries sometimes. Like, what if I brought one of those guys in and went fishing with them for a day and then learned how to do what he did, because learning from someone different that also chased their dreams would be super cool. Like, if you think about it, like, every guest I have, we're all so different, like comedians and firemen and Olympic athletes. Like, they're so different people, but we all have one thing in common where we all took the path of happiness. We all kind of quit our jobs or never had a real job, depends on who it was, and just chased their dreams and did whatever it was that made them happy, not for the money, but the struggle bus, the hard path. So like, that was what really drew us into it. We took out the Rookie of the Year NASCAR driver because he was also sponsored by one of my sponsors. And so it was just like a whim, like, let's try it. And I don't even think the episode didn't even do that good, to be honest with you. It wasn't on cable yet. It was on a streaming app, and then it was on YouTube. And the episode didn't get like hundreds of thousands of views or anything, but I had so much fun. I was addicted. Like, I was completely.
That's awesome.
It was one of the coolest experiences to learn how to race from a race car driver and then go to the NASCAR race and film on the track. Like, they treated me like royalty. Like, NASCAR rolled out the red carpet for us. We had a huge 6-person camera crew. We were all out on the track. I signed my name on the finish line. Like, it was like this big ordeal. And we're like, this is it. And then after a year on streaming, I actually got contacted by an agency, and which was attached to the Pursuit channel. And they were just like, hey, your show is so different. It's so unique. There's no fishing show like it. It's not boring. Every episode's different. We really like to have your show on our network. And I was like, holy crap. Like, this could be my next stepping stone. Like, this could be the next, next thing we could do with a show. Like, this could be huge. So we did it. We won a Telly Award our first season. We won another Telly Award in Wildlife and Nature the second season. The first one was for sports and entertainment on TV. The second one was Nature and Wildlife on TV. And we got like 1.9 million viewers in our first season. And we're like, wow, like, we didn't expect it. Like, every year we get our numbers and our ratings together, and we're just like, how do we do that? Like, that made no sense. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, how did we get that? And then when Discovery didn't come to us, I got rejected 5 times before they even accepted my show as an option. Wow. And I worked on that one hard, and I'm like, I'm not giving up. I'm like, I want a different response, so I'm going to submit something different. And I just kept on doing different presentations over and over. And they're like, man, you're not going to stop, are you? I'm like, not until I get a yes. Like, you could say no to that, but like, I'll give you something new then. Like, I'm not going to keep on feeding you the same line. I'm going to try something new. I finally submitted an episode that they really, really liked, and they saw my vision, and they're like, all right, we think you got something here. Like, what you have is so unique and so different. Like, we didn't get it at first. Like, one of the guys actually told me they thought I was a Sasquatch hunting show at first. So they were like, yeah, no, that's not, like, we don't want that. And I was like, no, there's no hunting. And they're like, yeah, but you're looking for Sasquatch. I'm like, no, it says Bassquatch. And they're like, well, what is that? Are you hunting a Bassquatch? I'm like, sort of. I'm like, hold on. And I explained the whole thing to them. But it was the same idea where we didn't expect to get on Discovery Channel necessarily. We just saw a vision, 6 years ago, that we could grow this into something that would really make an impact. And then every year it's just blown us away that it works. I do zero marketing besides social media. I do zero promotion of the show besides social media. And somehow it just grows, and it just, that's awesome. So I got lucky for sure.
All right, guys, we were talking to Mike McKinstry, guys, with the Bassquatch Hunter. And the reason why I invited you on the show, and I knew nothing about the YouTube side, guys, I ain't gonna lie to you whatsoever. I just knew the guy was in my inbox and he was blowing up Facebook. But you came out with this fish on the game. And that is really, I mean, that's freaking sweet. Up there's the music. Let me be quiet one more time. Hit the music. There you go.
My Vanna.
One day we're gonna be big time like that, guys.
Gotta love a guest that's got its own sound effects, man. Come on. It's great.
So
right.
anyway, so
Fish
yes.
on the game, guys. I see it's only 4 more days left, if I remember correctly, in the crowdfunding raising of money.
Yeah, it didn't work well.
It didn't work well, but hey, I think it will hopefully after the show pick up for you, because the game looked really freaking awesome. And the video that you did that went along with the game was like, this dude got his shit together. I didn't know, now we know the marketing, and now we know the whole backdrop. And that's what the cool thing is here for Basscast Radio, guys. We're introducing you guys new people, learning about Mike and his past to where he got to the future. So the future is this new game on top of the discovery. So why a game?
So I work with over 600 kids a summer with my township alone. I teach them how to fish. I do all the kids camps, and I do a fishing seminar, which usually lasts about 3 to 4 hours. And I do them all summer long. So eventually we hit about 600, 700 kids. And then I take kids fishing all the time in my spare time, whenever they want, or the parents and stuff too. So I was talking to all these kids, and the biggest question I get is, what's a Bassquatch? Like, that was always the biggest question I got from all the kids. And then as soon as I told them, like, the Bassquatch thing started because I used to always get lucky and catch the biggest fish every time I went out fishing. And I don't know how I did it. It was pure luck. I just somehow I would catch the biggest bass of the day, and everyone's like, dude, really? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't do it on purpose. I don't know what I did. I just cast it that way. Well, you were casting that way. I don't know. And I heard one of my favorite fishermen actually on his show called a bass a Bassquatch. And my buddy goes, dude, that's it. Like, that's it. So that's how I got the name. And so I try to explain this to kids, like, it's the one elusive fish you never catch on camera, like a Sasquatch, like the one elusive thing you always hunt, but it's more of like an adventure thing, like that you want to capture on camera. And I'm like, because you never really find the Sasquatch. It's always the adventure looking for him. So I'm like, that's what it's about. Right. So then I had this idea. I was like, instead of explaining to kids how fishing tournaments work and explaining to kids like what a Bassquatch was and how cool it is to find the big fish, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to develop a character. And I literally came up with, and it's on my shirt too. This is this right here is Seth, or Seth Squatch is his full name. And his little buddy Cedar, which is my dog right here that goes with me everywhere. He found him in the woods and named him after his favorite tree. But there's a whole story behind Seth, which I'll tell you something really cool that I haven't talked about yet anywhere else publicly, right after I tell you about the game. That's got to do with the character. But so we invented this character, Seth. So I was like telling the kids all this stuff, and I was like, and I started making up the story to all the kids every year saying, yeah, Seth Squatch was in the woods. He was in hiding and he was afraid of humans. He found a human fisherman wandered back in the woods to find a remote area to fish. They met each other and they're like, holy crap, you're different, but let's see what we can learn from each other. And the Sasquatch learned how to fish, caught his biggest fish he's ever seen, and they called it a Bassquatch, which is why he was called the Bassquatch Hunter. And then he realized that people were cool. So he's like, I want to get out of the woods and see what else I've been missing this whole time. I've been in hiding for hundreds of years, and I want to see what I've been missing. So he starts meeting new people. Cool. So when he meets new people, he meets like a NASCAR driver that flies by the woods, and he's like, hey, what do you do? Teach me how to drive. Then he learns how to be patient and focus and all this stuff like that from the driver. But then he wants to teach the driver how cool it is to learn how to fish in the woods, which is based off of our show, right? So we had this whole storyline lined up where like Seth goes out of the woods, and I was like, well, let's make a game. And I called my buddy up, who's a great artist. And I was like, hey, dude, like we've been friends for like 20 years. And I was like, do you want to work on a board game with me? And he was like, what? And I'm like, I know, like it's the weirdest thing I've ever asked somebody, probably randomly on the phone. And we didn't talk for like a year or so at the time. So it was just like super random. But I was like, I knew that he'd be perfect for this. And I knew we worked so well together. So I was like, I got an idea. And I taped a bunch of pieces of paper together into this huge sheet and brought over this drawing to his house. And I was like, look, and I explained this thing. So then after like 9 months of testing and prototype testing and all this changes, we did so many changes. We came out with the game, and the game is called Fish On, from the Bassquatch Hunter, and it's got Seth on it. So this is actually your chance to play the game as Seth in his world. So when he takes back people that he met from the real world into the woods, teach them how to fish, this is what you get to experience. That's so cool. The box is super cool. Like I love the box too. It's got, fish as Seth. It's got Bassquatch cards on it. And then the back gives you all the info on the game, and upside down gives you all the info on the game, how it's played right here. And it's got some cool pictures, but I'll show you the game too. It's super cool. Like I'm.
How much does the game retail for?
So it will retail for $39.99.
How much?
$39.99.
Okay.
But a lot comes with it. It's super cool. We're hoping to get the cost down eventually, but we got to order huge quantities.
Mhm.
Right now on Kickstarter, it's $50 on Kickstarter just because it includes donation to help us get started. Which the Kickstarter isn't successful this time because we only got about a couple days left, but we're going to restart a new one and change some things on it and resubmit a new one. We tried doing it in a hurry because we wanted to be able to hit Christmas for delivery. But then we did it in a hurry, so we didn't promote it correctly. We just threw it up as fast as we could so we could hit that Christmas delivery. So either way, so first thing, when you open the box, you'll notice the sides are really cool too. It says good luck hunting your Bassquatch on all the sides. Then you have the rules, which look like a boat ramp sign. And it's got the rules, how you play.
It's so cool. I don't know why. I just think it's cool as crap. I mean, it's like,
dude, trust me, I geek out over this all the time.
I'm geek. I mean, that's why I said we had to have him on, everybody. I mean, when I saw this, like, this is just freaking awesome.
It's just wait till I show you the game. It's so cool. I mean, you've seen the video at least.
Yes, I saw the video.
Yeah.
So you also, the first 200 games have a certificate of Sethenticity. And it's the first edition card right here. First edition, and it's signed by me and the artist, and then Seth Squatch signed it himself too.
That's cool.
So you get those, and then this is what it looks like. So you get this. I should just tilt my camera down, make it easier. But so you open it up, you got the board, and then you have a bag that says Seth Supplies on it, and this is a little satchel he has in the woods, and it's got the cards in it. It's got the dice in it. It's got the game pieces in it, which are actually Seth right here, front and back of Seth walking away. So the game pieces are just Seth, and you just go around the board. And then the Bassquatch Hunter trophy that gets passed around too. And it's super cool. And it all shows you all that stuff in the video, like how the stuff works and everything.
Yep.
But when you pull the game board out, and the point of this game too isn't just for kids either. But what's cool about it is it teaches you how tournaments work. So this is the board. It's easier when it's laying flat, but this is the board right here. So this is Seth's world. This is where Seth lives. That's his home right here. There's little footprints because he walks over here to where the logo's at. And he writes little messages in the sand to help you in the game too. So there's like arrows and like tight lines right here and stuff like that. But the whole point of the game is you roll the dice, you move around the spots. Where's the start line right here? Move around the spots right here. You can land on forgot life jacket, go back to start. So it teaches you, adults and kids, always have a life jacket with you. If you get up here, you forgot your fishing license, you got to go back. That way you remember always have a fishing license. There's a pike ate your fish up here. You lose a fish towards the end. There's a bunch of stuff on the board, but if you land on a fish on spot, which is the goal. Oh yeah. And you get stuck too. So you get stuck in the lily pads, stuck in the rocks, stuck on the tree stump.
That's awesome.
And then you have to roll the dice on like the Seth head to get off of the stuck spots. But so you land on a fish on spot, and that's when it gets fun because then you pull a card and all the cards are different fish or broken rods or grass bass, which is a pile of seaweed, or a tree pounder, which is a stick. And then you have to go back spaces for those.
I'm good at those.
Yeah, me too. I'm great at catching those. But every bass you catch, so here's the cards right here that say fish on them. Every bass you catch, so let's say here's a smallmouth bass. So it's 5.5 pounds and 21 inches. You put that in your net right here and you cover the skunk when you get your first fish. So you're not skunked. Everyone can get up to 5 fish, just like a bass tournament, right?
Yeah.
And you can call out your fish. It tells you all in the rules how to do calling. So if you get 5 fish already, you can swap out the biggest or the smallest one for the biggest one. And then you keep on going around the board, and you could get Bassquatch cards that are like 10-pound bass. You could get like, go to the stump and get stuck. Like they're super cool. Line snap, skip a turn. There's the Seth Gold card that gets rid of a bad one. There's the grass bass card right there. I love the art on those two.
There you go.
That's awesome.
So
a lot of time was put into this game, guys.
A whole lot, trust me.
Yeah.
So
how long do you think? I mean, I don't want to stop you here, but
okay,
4-player game. How long do you think it take to play?
It's between a 10 and 12 minute gameplay. So we
Wow.
purposely designed it so we changed the cards where the spaces were lined up probably 30 times because we wanted to make sure it was a 12-minute was our goal, and we hit 10 to 12 minutes was our average. We tested for 9 months.
Wow.
Kids at every level, adults at every level. It turned into a drinking competitive game for adults, and then kids are like obsessed with it because it teaches kids realistically what fish look like and what size they are too. Because I don't know how many kids camps I've been to, where every kids camp I've been to, I should say, where I'm like, any questions? And every kid raises their hand. I'm like, yeah, I caught a 39-inch bass last week. And I'm like, that's not a question, but that's also not true. Like, I'm not gonna shoot the kid down. So I'm like, oh, that's great. It's awesome. But there's a game now where they could see like, oh, a Bassquatch is the biggest fish in the game and it's 10 pounds, 25.5 inches.
Yeah.
Or the other Bassquatch card's 8.5 pounds and 24 inches, or the smallmouth is 5.5 pounds, 21 inches. So it also gives them realistic expectations when they go out fishing. Here's what you can catch. There's bluegill, pike, all these other fish in here that all have different actions on them. And then you can also see like, oh, fishing tournament, it took 32 pounds to win this one, but last game I won with only 17 pounds. And it's like, that's a realistic day of fishing in a tournament.
Yep.
Pretty cool, dude.
So it's awesome. But the coolest part is you go around the middle circle. There's arrows right here that tell you all the stuff. And then the rules tells you go around in the circle as long as you want until somebody decides I have enough fish. I've hit enough fishing spots, so I'm going to go out. And then you go one of the two paths on the way out. You got to avoid the pike right here that you lose a fish, because you could be winning and feel pretty cocky. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to end the game. I'm going to go out. And then you hit the pike and you lose a fish. And all of a sudden you're in third place all of a sudden. So you go out here. As soon as someone gets to the end, then everyone adds up all their fish by either inches or pounds and see who won. And then you become the next Bassquatch hunter and you get the trophy. And then you play again. So with the 10 to 12 minute average play time, most games are around 10 to 11 minutes. Sometimes they're a little bit shorter even. If you play right through to the finish line, you could finish in like 8 minutes was our average. So it's a super fun game to play repeatedly. And the cool part about playing it repeatedly, just like fishing repeatedly, is every time you do it, it's different. Every single experience is different. You'll never have the same game twice, no matter how you play it. It'll never be the same. You'll always catch different fish or different size fish or lose a fish or something. And it's just like a day of fishing. So the board game we wanted to come up with so people, especially kids, could have a realistic expectation of what a day in the fishing world is like. Same thing we do.
That is so cool. Mike, that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
It's really cool.
Definitely a cool game to get someone interested in the world of bass fishing, tournament fishing, like you said, and, you know, learn the reality of the whole entire thing. You're going to have a good day and you're going to have a bad day.
Oh, yeah.
But every day is fun. And that's what's cool about it. It's every day is fun. And that's what I learned from watching Bill dance when I was a kid. That's what inspired me to do a show.
Oh, yeah.
Is fishing can be fun. It doesn't have to be always about catching fish. It could be about just how fun it was or how funny it was, even if you do something stupid. So,
oh, yeah.
All right, guys. So after he gets the next crowdfunding back up, whichever app or whichever way he chooses to go, we're going to get the link and we're going to post it in this podcast, or we're going to post it on social media. So you guys can head on out there and order a copy of Fish on the Board Game, guys.
Yeah, it'll be on Kickstarter again.
Okay, it'll be on Kickstarter again. So he's going to get that up there, and we will help promote it as well. And maybe we can work out a deal where we can give one away to a lucky person.
I would love to.
Or a lucky listener to Basscast Radio, and make a great Christmas gift. All right. So when were you looking, or is there an idea of when you're looking at placing the first order, or is there anything you guys just threw it up and like, dear Jesus, please buy?
We already have it ordered. So this is production right here.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
And these are like the finished game pieces, the finished dice, the finished trophies. Like I said, we went through a lot of prototypes first. So we had them made repeatedly. And then I made my own for the first like 20 versions, like hand cutting all the cards every single time we changed something. And it was,
so there are a couple cases of these already at your house.
Yep. So we have 20 left.
Ooh,
wow.
We started sending them out for promotional stuff in the beginning. We started sending them out to game makers like Milton Bradley and Parker Brothers and stuff. Then we decided not to sell it to a game company because it's just a really dumb situation the way they do stuff. So they cater to people who make board games for a living. So if you make board games for a living, selling it to a board game company is an awesome idea, because you just cycle out ideas and hopefully one of them sticks, and that's how they work. Where I don't plan on making 50 different board games. I'm making an awesome one time.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a fly fishing edition or saltwater edition and stuff like that. But I'm not a game board maker. So selling one game to a company doesn't make sense unless you know it's going to be like Monopoly, you know, where you know it's going to just be like the biggest thing in the world. So we're keeping this in-house where we have full control over it still, and doing our own distribution. So we ordered, we have 20 left, which were available on Kickstarter for a little bit of a premium, since they're the original. They have like some different art on the back that'll be different on the new boxes, and you get some extra perks like little 3D figures of our character Seth right here.
Oh,
cool.
We had this actually custom 3D modeled and molded to be exactly like the full cartoon. But there is something that I told you a little bit ago that I was going to tell you guys about that has to do with the board game in the show. But I haven't talked about this publicly yet because it's not done, but I'm actually really excited about it. You know how I mentioned earlier how Seth comes out of the woods and meets a different human
yes
every day, just like our show is based off of, where it meets a firefighter one day and learns about, the attributes it takes to be a fireman, then teaches a fireman. So we actually have a 12-book children's book series that follows each one of those. And the first one is complete. Second one is done. It's being edited right now. Then it'll be illustrated after that. Once the first 4 are done, we're going to release the first series of 4, then the second series of 4, then the third series of 4.
Holy cow.
And each book is super cool because the first book is origin story, which I kind of explained already what it was.
Yeah.
The second book meets his first human, which is the NASCAR driver. But what's really cool is Seth doesn't just meet cool people that are different than him that he learns from, but he also gets to learn how to, like for the driving one, he learns how to be focused and not be distracted when you're doing something important. He learns how to be have perseverance and not give up when things get tough or things are hard, like all the things that it takes to be a race car driver.
Right.
And these are the things that I learned from an actual NASCAR driver, like weight distribution and how to just it's amazing how athletic you have to be a race car driver. You don't think about it because you're sitting still, but you're sitting still for a very, very long time with a lot of pressure on your body and a lot of things to do. So like Seth gets to learn all of these things, but then Seth gets to teach what he's passionate about and teach, a different person how to fish, and then realize that these two people or two things, not people, are so different from each other, but they have commonalities and they can learn from each other, which is what I hope inspires kids to get out and meet people that are different than them, not be afraid of somebody that looks different or feels different or sounds different, and get out there and just learn something new from them. And then don't be afraid to teach them your passion too. Like it's really cool to learn from people, but it's just an amazing feeling inside when you inspire someone by showing them what you love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So each book will be a different story of that. Like from the firefighter, he'll learn different attributes and different things. And
so
figure skaters.
What age group is this geared towards?
So the book so far it's written up as 8 to 12.
Okay.
Is the age group, only because it's under 900 words, which fits the category of from 6-year-old up to. The only reason why I have to get it tested again to get a lower rating for lower age rating. The first book was an origin story. It didn't really get into like the meat of each one of them. You know what I mean? So it was considered more mature content for an 8-year-old, like for 8-year-old up instead of like a 4 or 5-year-old. But I have read the book to 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, everywhere. Even adults think they're cool stories and they're just interesting. But what's cool is if you read the book to your kid or your kid reads it and likes it, you can go online or go on cable and watch the TV show and watch the episode, the real version of that exact book. So like if you read the NASCAR book, you're like, oh, that's super cool. Well, hey, you want to watch the real adventure where the kayak fisherman that taught Seth how to fish? Here's the kayak fisherman teaching the NASCAR guy how to fish. Like that's
so cool.
So they all tie in together. And every book is a picture of the board game, which is the map of where he lives. So it shows where he takes each guest fishing in the map. So if you want to go to Pike's Alley on the board game, there's a little sign that says Pike's Fork. Not Pike's Alley, Pike's Fork. And if you want to go to Pike's Fork on the board game, you go, hey, look, that's where he took the NASCAR guy fishing, is Pike's Fork. Or look over here in the lily pads where he gets stuck. That's where he took the figure skaters fishing in the ice time. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, so they all tie in together, and hopefully it's going to inspire kids to go out and just do something different, meet someone new, and find an adventure outside of the house.
That's so cool.
That's
Mike,
pretty neat.
Where can people go? First of all, social media.
Yep.
And then, you got your clothing, it's a whole big conglomerate of Bassquatch fishing. I mean, where can I go to purchase stuff? I mean,
so if you go to bassquatchhunter.com, and you click the menu thing on the website, there'll be the YouTube channel, the clothing stuff, some links to some of our sponsors on there too. And then very soon we'll have the books and the board games up there as well. But then we're also going to have everything on Amazon to be able to buy those on Amazon directly. Since we're not selling to a company, we're doing everything directly. We decided to sell on Amazon and our website. So everything will be direct. So that way we have control. Every single package will be shipped from me directly, so I can, control everything. And have more quality control too. I don't want things being shipped without me being able to touch them. And like, I pack these boxes myself. Like, every board game comes in and I take all the pieces and put them all, because they're all from different distributors and manufacturers, and I put them all together, package them all, package the board game back up in plastic, and then you get it. And that's how I like having my hands on everything I do, just so I know that it's going out the best way possible. But you can go to bassquatchhunter.com. That'll be your first step. And then you can also just follow us on social media at the Bassquatch Hunter on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everything. Instagram is where we post all the behind the scenes pictures and all the special content that we don't post everywhere else. Facebook is our biggest platform, so we do everything on there. And then YouTube is the only place you can find the behind the scenes vlogs, tips and tricks and stuff that we learn along the way from people. And our full episodes are always on there too after they air on cable. So every single season's on there and a playlist as well.
All right. So there you guys go. Head on over, check him out. Mike, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. It's great to learn about you. I mean, you got some awesome stuff happening, going on. I got one question before we let you leave. How's the truck? You had a deer, geek.
I hit a buck. It wasn't just a deer.
Yeah.
This was like
yeah. See, there you go. You know, I watched the show because I saw the ending.
Yeah, I hit like a super buck. So I was filming with the country music star.
Yep.
She's in the middle of nowhere up in the woods. Like she's, like I said, 100% authentic.
I live down in the woods in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's so up here in Michigan, it's like deer heaven this time of year because deer season started.
Oh yeah.
So a few weeks ago we filmed for we were gone for like 12, 13 hours. We had a full long day of filming, had a full crew with us, but we all drove separately, which was ironic because usually we don't do that. So we all left at different times. So I leave at like 1 a.m, driving down the road, doing 60 miles an hour on the highway. And I was doing like 65 because I'm not under oath here. So I can, I'm not going to get in trouble by the law. So I was doing 65 and a 55. And I saw 30 or 40 deer everywhere. And I was like, oh man, I got to start looking out. And as soon as I said that, I looked up, there was 5 bucks, like no joke. Every one of them had racks walking across the road. And I have a big enclosed trailer behind me.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not swerving 10,000 pounds to hit to avoid 200 pounds. So I lined the one up because I was hitting one no matter what, lined him up dead center with the tow hooks. And I was like, all right, let's hope he doesn't go through the window. Let's go.
Yeah.
I hit him. He flew in the air, landed, died instantly. Thank God. Slid forever. And it wasn't anything worth taking or anything like that. Obviously his head went into the grill, everything. And cops come up and he's like, yeah, so what happened? And I was like, well, doing like 65 and hit a deer. He goes, well, the speed limit is 55. And I was like, yeah, I was doing 55 and I hit a deer and it's over there. And I think my truck's screwed and I got to get a tow truck at 1 a.m. in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know what city I'm in right now. Like, there's no street lights or I'm in pitch black. Like it's sitting next to like an abandoned McDonald's. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. And so I started my truck up and it ran and it drove. So I was like, I guess I'm driving it home 2 more hours and to see if I make it. I'm still driving the truck the way it is today, just with a little bit less deer hair and blood on it. And, all the parts are being used to build new cars right now, so it's hard to get. And my truck's brand new. I just put 8,000 miles on it. It's brand new. So now I'm waiting for and it's through a sponsorship, so it's not even my truck.
Yeah, because I heard that part too. I was gonna ask that part. Yeah. I gotta reach out, man. I gotta tell my sponsors I just wrecked your truck, guys.
That's pretty much what the next day I was like, I wonder if this is, and the worst part is it's the end of the year. So my contract for next season is on his table, literally on his table, not signed yet. And I was like, I wonder if I could wait till I get the contract back to tell him what happened. So I didn't post it on Facebook right away or anything for that reason. So, man, I got to call this dude tomorrow morning and be like, hey, you know that brand new like $70,000 truck I got from you guys? Yeah, well, it's wrecked. Like, so I told him, and he goes, dude, we deal with trucks every day. It's like you breaking a fishing rod. It's normal. It happens. He goes, but we don't have any other trucks to give you right now for a rental. We have no trucks. He goes, and parts are super behind because all the parts are being used to build new trucks that we don't have. Yeah. So he's like, if you can drive it the way it is, drive it the way it is. If it stops driving, we have a Ford Edge for you. I'm like, well, I can't tow with that. That's like useless to me. So he's like, we have nothing. So I'm still driving it. All the parking sensors go haywire like crazy, but I mean, I got my first buck, so you know.
That's a rough way to get one.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, Mike, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. Appreciate you telling us about your story and what all you have going on. You've got some amazing stuff going on for kids, and you're making a huge impact out there. And we really, really appreciate you, man.
No, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it a lot too. And if anyone has any questions about the show or anything else we do, you guys can message me anytime, literally 24/7 on socials. Nobody runs my socials but me, so I answer right away all the time. So any questions, let me know.
All right, guys, you heard it right there. We're going to be right back, everyone. All right, guys, we really appreciate Mike for coming on and talking with us tonight. What an awesome story. I mean, like I said, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I will watch your social media. I'm watching your Instagram. I do a lot of that. I'm not saying I'm stalking you, but I want to know what's going on. I do a Gary V. Yeah. That's what Gary V does. He talks about it all the time about, checking out what other people are putting on our social media. what they're talking about. And this guy was blowing up my social media Facebook account, which, sorry guys, I'm not huge on Facebook, but I do look at it every now and again. And I was like, who is this Mike dude? And then when I saw the game, I was like, we have got to talk to him about that really freaking cool game. Fish on, everybody.
Yeah. And then look at all the other stuff. I mean, that was a dude is he works. He does work.
Yes. The dude is all over the place. Wrap trailer, wrap boat. Wrap truck, kayak fisherman like the rest of us here at the basscast.com. At my part, Geek's got a boat, by the way, and another boat on his way. If you guys haven't already seen that, the brand new, beautiful Basscast green Camus boat.
Now, don't tell nobody. I ain't told nobody what color won yet.
Oh, daggone it.
That's all right, though. That's all right. We'll let them know right now, but we'll keep it under wraps for the rest of the time.
Okay. So the brand new Camus boat's coming here pretty soon to him. So appreciate him coming on. Make sure you guys head on over and follow him. So check him out on social media and watch the show. And like I said, it's going to be on Discovery in 2023. And it's something different. It's really cool. I mean, that's the cool thing. It mirrors, different people from different lifestyles coming, throwing them in a kayak and they're fishing.
Yeah, it's a great concept. Really cool concept.
So appreciate you guys listening. Thank you. Basscast, like I said, we're back on the road this weekend. We're going to do another show next weekend. Then we have Happy Thanksgiving. We got 2 more weeks. Then we got 2 or 3 more weeks. Then we got Christmas. We got the end of the year. So we got a lot more episodes left this year to do.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot more great guests to bring on. And guys, like I said, if you would like to be a guest on the show, if you're still listening right now, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just DM us on Instagram, Facebook, thebasscast.com, and tell us why you would like to be a guest on the show and what, bring something to the table, please, to talk about. Not that you're just a cool guy, and I understand that, but, bring something cool to the table, and we'd love to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
Also, guys, don't forget, check out the Geeks channel. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the bell as well, and watch for him live really soon. I want to try to get down there. I promise I am going to make an appearance once you get everything locked in, locked out, and loaded. And maybe we can do one together. And that'd be freaking cool. Yeah,
it'd be fun. It'd be fun to come down and do some fishing together.
Yes.
Something that I don't do much anymore, I feel like. Not this time of year.
What's that?
Like, golly. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
There you go. Well, guys, we appreciate you listening. Thank you for following. Oh, yeah, last but not least, thank you guys for following us on the channel that we have. So if you go to the basscast.com Facebook page, look up Basscast Radio, hit the follow button. I think we're at over 600. I saw it earlier. We're over 600 followers on that. So thank you. Let's get it over 1,000 by the end of the year. That'd be awesome as crap. Because I think we do a great job here, me and Geek.
Oh, yeah.
Introducing you guys to new people. And thank you to all the listeners. I had a guy, I forgot to tell you, Geek, a couple of weeks ago. Me and Daniel were at an event. A guy said, hey, or did I tell you? I can't remember. But he said he listens while he's at work.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Over iHeartRadio. Because I threw out a survey, want to know where you guys listen. And he said, I listen through iHeartRadio. So thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back in another week. Bye, everybody.